It's time for another garden update, so let's get out there and look around. The corn's finally up. It's very thick. I'll be able to thin it out once the variegation starts to show in a week or two. Sounds like there's a cardinal in the background. We've got a row of peppers here next to the corn and well between the corn and the garlic. Then the garlic is about 1.5 feet tall, and we'll harvest that next month. I put a row of peppers between the two rows of garlic. We've got some basil right there. Then we've got another row of peppers over here. It'll be a while before I have all of these memorized. It'll be easier to tell what they are once they get larger and get peppers on them. But as you can see, we've got tons of peppers. Then over here, this trellis, I have some cucumbers planted. Those are China jade cucumbers. That's our favorite type to grow that we've found so far. Got a tomato in that cage. Well, I didn't show you this one over here. Another tomato in that cage. Oh, by the way, the red solo cups, I cut the bottoms out of those and I use them for cutworm collars. It works great for that. And then once the peppers aren't tender and have a little size, or the tomatoes also, then I'll cut away those cups. Over here, next to this cage, I have some rattlesnake pole beans planted there. And then over here, next to this trellis, I have some Monte Gusto pole beans planted. And we've got another tomato. A lot of these tomatoes, it's kind of hard to tell, but they're variegated. They're from my tomato cross. I'm going to be growing about 20 or a little more of those. Not all of them will be variegated, but some of them will be. This row here is variegated. And then the row next to it, they aren't variegated. Then I have one of all my seedlings. This is my favorite one so far because it's got decent variegation and it looks like it's going to be a dwarf, and that's what I was wanting, is to produce some variegated dwarf plants, and hopefully I'll find some that have great tasting tomatoes. Then down here at the end we have a straw bale. I'm going to be planting some sweet potatoes in that before too long. I've already started to condition it by adding fertilizer to the top and keeping the bale wet. Eventually I'll start to get some mushrooms growing, and that'll tell me that it's starting to break down and it'll be time to plant. The oregano over here is doing great. I had one tomato, I didn't know where I was going to put it, so I put it right down there in the middle of the oregano. You can't hardly see it, but it'll grow its way out eventually. Rhubarb's getting pretty good size, and the fennel is starting to really grow well. It's almost knee-high now. This is our new raised bed. It was given to us by the Veggie company that makes these raised beds, and they gave it to us to try out, and so far I like it a lot. It's going to be a great addition to our garden, I believe, and at some point I'll do a video just featuring this raised bed, but for now this is a look at what we have going on. I have an eggplant there that's got some insect damage, some strawberries just starting to grow, a couple of pepper plants, more peppers. I've got some of my favorite peppers in this raised bed, so it'll be fun to watch them grow. That one's called Kansas Chaos. You can see that variegated foliage, the purple flowers, And the peppers will also be purple once they start producing peppers. Then we got more. These are called Juanita. Those are also one of my favorite peppers. Then we got another eggplant. I actually have a couple of them, but I'm going to pull a couple of those out and leave just one. Then we have another strawberry. Right next to the raised bed, we have the green stalk planter. We've got lettuce at the top. We've got 6 different types of micro tomatoes in that second row. This planter was given to us by our niece, and we've really enjoyed using it. But as you can see, some of the tomatoes, some of the plants have quite a few tomatoes on them. That one there is called Laura number 5. Then we've got more lettuce, some greens, some parsley. This row has cilantro in it, some chives. Then down at the bottom, we've got some spinach. Then over in this row, we have all of our grow bags on this landscape fabric. I don't know why I didn't do that last year, but we have some sugar and snap peas. They're a little bit too thick. The seeds were old and I didn't expect them to germinate that well. We have some carrots there, some Kennebec potatoes, some beets just now starting to come up, some more carrots, some peppers. We've got quite a few peppers growing in these grow bags. Some more Kennebec potatoes. Then we have a indeterminate type of potato in this grow bag, and I'll be adding soil as those grow. And in this grow bag, we've got some Midwest Fiesta peppers. There's 4 different varieties: purple, red, orange, and green. Then we've got Midwest Midnight Orange variegated. The variegation's kind of hard to see until they get a little larger, but all 3 of those are variegated. You can kind of see it on the tip of that one leaf there, but it'll show up better as they get larger. This is one that I'm calling Tempest. It's loaded with peppers. I'm growing 3 of them. That one seems to be about the darkest. But the peppers are similar to the onyx candy, for those of you who remember those, except instead of pointing up, they hang down. And instead of being sweet, they're pretty hot. Then we have one called Burgundy Bliss. Then we've got some miscellaneous peppers growing here and there. And then we've got some mutant peppers, for those of you who have never seen one of those. As you can see, those leaves look a lot different than a regular pepper like that one. Got another indeterminate potato in this pot. I'll be adding soil to that soon. There's our blueberries. I put those in grow bags. They were in small pots. I've got a dwarf tomato there I need to get in the ground. Some more pepper plants. Another mutant. This is probably my favorite tomato cross seedling that I have. It's a dwarf, and it's got variegated foliage, and I'm hoping it has great tasting tomatoes. It'll be a while before we find that out. Got some more micro tomatoes over here. The fig, more micro tomatoes. Those are really overcrowded, but that's kind of an experiment. And for those of you who are wondering about the banana, this year I only had 1 sprout come up. I think I've had that banana in the ground for 6 or 7 years, survived all the winters. Last winter I didn't cover it up at all, or the winter before that, and it still survived though. as cold as we've gotten here. Well, that's about all I have to show you this week. As the weeks go on, this is the time of the year that things really change from week to week. So if you haven't subscribed, you might subscribe so you can follow along and see how all this stuff does. Otherwise, like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.